Man, we finally got our Nintendo Direct. After so long of hearing nothing from Nintendo, we've gotten something from them and... Wait. Is that it? No Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch Mini?
So no...
Nintendo news. We didn't end up getting a full Direct or even any news we were super hopeful for, but we did end up getting this anyway, and with that the speculation continues. A lot of people came out of this partner showcase feeling disappointed, but setting that feeling aside, I think we can all agree that more than anything, this Direct was just confusing. I mean, we were looking at so much happening, and then we just get DLC for Cadence of Hyrule, Hi-Rez's only original game, Shin Megami Tensei, and Thick Boy John Cena? I mean, don't get me wrong, Shin Megami Tensei 5 finally coming around is huge news, especially with the Nocturne port, but we were expecting a lot, so where's it at, Nintendo? And with that, I'd like to do a little bit of recap and expansion on everything we've heard in the past few weeks. So kick back, grab a snack, give a dog a bone, cause I'm also generic, and we're gonna get right into it. So before we get into the expansion part, let's just recap the Nintendo Direct we got. It was announced as a partner showcase, which is advertised as the first in the series of these things. We don't really know what to expect from these going forward, but the games we got this time were 3 announced DLC packs for The Legend of Zelda Crypt of the Necrodancer crossover game, Cadence of Hyrule, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, Rogue Company, Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Nocturne, and additionally Adelaide Ryza 2 alongside a bunch of other games whose names I'm going to butcher if I try to pronounce them, the latter of which were actually announced in the Japanese version of the Direct. They said there would be more of these partner showcases in the future, and what that seems to be to me is just the third-party companies who are pushing their games on the Switch are going to have their stuff revealed here, while first-party stuff dominates the regular Directs. This is done this way to satisfy marketing deals with friendly publishers so that their games can actually, do well, while keeping to Nintendo's confusing way of presenting their own games. I'm willing to bet that really big third-party games will still be shown off during regular Nintendo Directs, but smaller stuff like what we saw on Monday is kept to the partner showcases for now amidst the pandemic. But now let's talk about what's come out after the partner showcase by getting right into it with everyone's favorites, the leakers and insiders. Most notably though, someone who's gained quite a bit of notoriety for themselves in the past couple months, which is Kelios FR. Kelios built themselves up a few months back when they began leaking information for the March Direct Mini. For a few weeks now, they've been talking about a Direct on the 20th, which of course has just happened. So they were correct on that front, but what about the games they promised would be shown, you may be asking? Well, they never actually leaked any games or anything past the date, so at this point, they do have a 100% accuracy for leaks. However, this doesn't mean that they knew this was going to be a partner showcase either. In fact, they state pretty clearly that Nintendo changed up their presentation schedule from what they'd initially heard. It seems that originally we were meant to get a more general Direct on the 20th, but for some reason it was turned into a partner showcase. This is backed up by fellow insider Zippo even further, who implied last week that we would be seeing Mario in a Direct this week, which obviously has yet to happen. With it being very possible that there was originally meant to be a full Direct on the 20th, could that mean that we have one soon enough instead? Well, let's talk about that. Tiffany Treadmore, a woman we've talked about pretty extensively recently, seems to think we're very close to seeing more from the Big N. Tiffany Treadmore, for those of you that don't know, leaked a fair amount of info over the past month and a bit, including a list of a few dates that ended up lining up with official reveals from Nintendo. She's been more clearly hinting at specific games recently, but most notably, she's assuring us that we're going to be getting a Direct sometime soon. Kelios is also convinced that we're getting a Direct soon, even noting that the partner showcase on Monday was just the, quote, boring part first, unquote. Furthermore, Tiffany does raise a very excellent point regarding Nintendo and its investors. Supposedly, Nintendo is going to be holding an investors meeting on August 6th, 2020, which at this point is a little under 2 weeks away, and yet Nintendo really doesn't have much to show for the meeting, which will reflect very poorly on them for their investors. She follows this tweet up by simply saying soon, implying that Nintendo knows this very well, which, as a multi-billion-dollar company, they should. Our window of opportunity here is pretty limited though, with next week being the only good time before the 6th for them to reveal what they need to. So let's cautiously put that hype train back into gear and hope for the best. But as I said, Tiffany has hinted at some specific games recently, so let's talk about those. The first set of hints were 4 simple phrases that she capitalized to bring attention to, which were Flip, Attack and Dethrone God, Nuts, and Galaxy. We're still not entirely sure what games these are meant to be hinting at, but my best guesses were Flip meant a Super Paper Mario port, Attack and Dethrone God meant Bayonetta 3 or SMT 5, Nuts meant maybe the rare replay on Switch, and Galaxy was Mario Galaxy. She also tweeted out another set of game hints with her saying something must get me posting timelines for more, because 3 more weeks of this, boy, oh this would suck. Now the words she capitalizes on each line create some interesting acronyms, with those being SMG, MPT4, just the letter M, B3, and BOTW. The 2 lines without any capitalization are just fillers, meant to make the tweet seem like a sentence instead of a hint. Each of these acronyms likely means something, with SMG being Super Mario Galaxy, MPT4 being Metroid Prime Trilogy /4, M being Moon, B3 being Bayonetta 3, and BOTW being Breath of the Wild. Each of these are all heavily rumored games recently, with Tiffany just now throwing her hat into the ring of people who have heard about them. Additionally, over the past couple of days, she's potentially hinted at some more stuff as well. She tweeted asking about Ninja Gaiden, the localized Moon port, Suikoden, and then Super Mario Collection. However, this Suikoden note has turned out to just be the creator of Suikoden independently announcing a new game he's working on, Eiyuden Chronic, but that turned out to be something anyway, so that's just another point for her track record. So bringing up the full list of games she's hinting at, we have a Paper Mario port, Bayonetta 3, Rare Replay, Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime Trilogy and 4, Moon, Breath of the Wild 2, Ninja Gaiden, and the Mario 35th Anniversary Collection, seemingly called Super Mario Celebration. On top of all this, she's also teasing that we're going to be seeing new and potentially unexpected hardware from Nintendo. I don't know what that could be, but it's apparently on its way. Knowing Nintendo, it's probably something really weird and unwanted, like a speedometer you put in your car that lets you play a special Mario game based around driving under the speed limit. Talk about driver responsibility. But that covers most of what we've seen from Tiffany Treadmore, unless she adds a crazy amount more in the time it takes me to write and edit this, which I'm kind of banking on. But let's talk about another leaker, King Zell, or C. Subasa. King Zell has been a fairly prominent leaker for a long while now, and recently posted on Reset Era saying, "I hope you guys like Mario games," with the M and S in Mario games being bolded. They posted this on the 19th, and after the partner showcase would go on to say that what I was told was that Nintendo was showcasing their games late summer. That's why this direct was a surprise to me, actually. The S&M hint were meant for 2 games that should have been revealed in that Nintendo Direct, but with Nintendo, especially this year, nothing is certain. So now on top of that huge list of games from Tiffany Treadmore, there's seemingly possibly 2 more that relate to the letters S and M. If I had to guess, we might be seeing ports of the Sonic and Mario Olympic Games series. It would make sense considering S&M could stand for Sonic and Mario, and then Mario Games is obviously very close to Olympic Games. The Tokyo Olympics would have been this summer were it not for the pandemic, so it's possible we could have seen ports of some of the other Olympic Games. Most likely the 2014 Winter Olympics, since we didn't get a 2018 Mario and Sonic game for the Pyeongchang Olympics. This could be completely off base though, as there's a lot you could look at when it comes to the letters S and M. The most common thing I've seen pointed out is something to do with Microsoft, which would also work pretty well. Microsoft is usually short formed to be just MS, and there's been a lot of talks for a long time about Microsoft and Nintendo's partnership. Of course, Minecraft paved the way for crossplay between Switch and Xbox, and then we have a plethora of crossovers with Ori and Cuphead on the Switch, and of course Banjo and Smash, but people have been talking about more than that for a while. If it wasn't for Mario and Sonic, my next best guess would be something insane like the Rare Replay and Master Chief Collection both coming to the Switch. There's a fair amount of evidence towards the Master Chief Collection coming to the Switch, especially from King Zell over the past year, saying they heard of something that would be like Mario on a PlayStation, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised or at all disappointed if the Chief makes his Nintendo debut on the Switch when we get this direct. The last bit of leaking I want to talk about here today comes from GameStop. Yeah, I know. Last week, GameStop got up to quite a bit of fun when it came to the speculation of Nintendo fans. Firstly, the more concrete thing, GameStop updated their systems quite a bit to feature a few new SKUs, or system keeping units, for the Switch, to show there was new stuff happening soon from Nintendo. As of now, they're still blank with no games attributed to them, but these are usually put up in advance to show Nintendo's got something on the way. The second and much shadier thing though is that GameStop supposedly leaked Geno from Super Mario RPG for Smash Bros. Now right off the bat, I want to say that as possible as Geno is to make it in, the chance that GameStop just casually leaked him for Smash is very low, but they've been acting shady about the whole situation, so I figured I'd talk about it. I'll show you the original clip where they said this.
I mean, there's a reason people were freaking out when Geno was announced for Smash.
So yeah, she just kind of casually states that Geno was announced for Smash and that people were freaking out over it, which is weird because Geno was never announced for Smash. Usually this would be the end of the situation and we could all move on, but Then they started to do some damage control by taking down the video, putting it back up, and editing a comment on the video a fair few times to correct themselves to just say that they don't know anything the public doesn't. A good few people have begun to speculate if this could be them just trying to mitigate damage dealt to their relationship with Nintendo after a really dumb leak. And I can kinda see where they're coming from. It seems very much so that Nintendo had something else planned for these directs and that the partner showcase wasn't originally in the books. Is it possible that GameStop filmed this little video knowing Gino was on the way and thinking that he would be revealed before it went up? Maybe. Probably not. Probably not at all, in fact, and I'm actually going to give this theory a thumbs down, but it's still technically a maybe. This means nothing for Gino's overall chances, by the way. He's still likely, in my opinion. It's just that this particular leak is nothing more than an awful choice of words to convey something entirely different from what they're actually saying. Before we go, I just want to take the time to point out this little pattern I found last minute that has to do with Smash newcomers. Credits to @Waluigi for Smash on Twitter for pointing this one out. The pattern is brought up on a 4chan text post which is talking about Fire Emblem Warriors being made free for a limited time for Japanese Nintendo Switch Online members shortly before Byleth was revealed for Smash. Then, in March, ARMS was made free for Nintendo Switch Online members to coincide with the reveal of an ARMS fighter in Smash. Very recently, Nintendo has offered another one of these free downloads, with Pokken Tournament DX being made free. With a direct coming up very soon, hopefully, is it possible that we'll be getting a Pokemon newcomer revealed for Smash? It's possible. A lot of people have been expecting an 8th generation Pokemon since Byleth was revealed, but I'm personally just not putting any stock into this. It's only 2 instances, so I'm not really willing to say this is something. Patterns crop up all the time in Smash speculation, and more often than not, they turn out to be absolutely nothing. Look at Companion Theory, or Color Theory, or that entire time before Ultimate's release where people thought the game would have a Heroes vs Villains theme because of Ridley and K. Rool, when the theme was quite clearly that this was the Ultimate edition of the series. However, as bunk as theories like this tend to be, I still figure it's worth pointing out, just in case. But that's all I've got for this video. What do you think? Do you think we've got a Nintendo Direct on the way in this next coming week, or do you think we're just going to be as in the dark as ever? Let me know down in the comments below, and as ever, make sure to smack that like button like it's the buzzer on a bad dating show and you just met an unsuitable romantic partner. And of course, subscribe for more Nintendo speculation content in the future. I'm also Generic, thank you so much for watching, I'll catch you next time.